so today I'm going to tackle the wiring room and the electrics. Now I have to go back over this again because I may have to shorten some of the wires later on. But what I did first was I had 3 looms, and I've identified one good loom. So I did that. I unwrapped the whole loom. I've checked all the wiring and I've wrapped it back up again. And also what I've done is I've actually numbered every connector. And the guys at the Hawk forums were very kind to provide me with a wiring diagram. There it is. And basically I marked off each connector in the diagram, just to make sure that I account for everything, because all 3 looms were chopped at one stage. Different pieces were chopped, different places people were getting power from, so I decided that I'll just strip the whole loom, go back, rewrap it again, and yeah. So what I'll do is I'll just show you. I have to fix a couple of things. This solenoid in the battery connection here on my loom is actually butchered. I'll just show you. You see that there? It's actually butchered. Someone went in to get power. It's actually, you can see it's either melted or there was some issue there. So that's one bit that I'm going to fix now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to resolder it, heat shrink it, and then wrap it again. So that's kind of the last thing that's down to the loom. Yeah, so let's do that and then I'll show you the bike. There's the brake switch. That can be unplugged. I'll do it in sections. I'll go to whatever this meets the rest of the loom, and I'll do that section, and then I'll tackle the next one. Okay, I'm not going to make you watch this for an hour, but basically that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to rewrap it. I'll reuse these. I'll clean them up and I'll reuse them. I'll put them up and then I'll just rewrap it. So I'll just show you when I'm finished. Okay, so I chopped off the solenoid and the wiring to it with the connector from the other loom. As you can see, this is the loom I've rewrapped, and I've identified that this is the issue here. This for the starter solenoid. Both of these have been kind of butchered, and someone has bypassed the main fuse and have installed their own fuse holder with their own connector. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop this back a little bit and solder that onto it and put some heat shrink on. Put the gator back on. There should be a little gator. There it is. I'll put that gator back on, and yeah, and just go through. There's a few more small things that I need to resolder, but anyway, I'll go with this one first. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take a cut, just chop them all there. So that one can go in the bin. I'll just strip each one of these. They're all stripped. I have this one stripped ready. Okay, so first I'm going to put the gator back on. You can see it's quite important to have a look at your wiring before you put it back on the bike, just in case you have a little surprise like that. You later have to strip half the bike, keep looking for wires. I found another few nicks and stuff there, here and there, so yeah, it was actually good that I did that. I'm going to see if the whole thing. Now you have to kind of keep a good distance, otherwise these will start to shrink on you, and then one over the whole lot when it's finished. So yeah, I should be able to do that. Yeah, it's perfect. So what I usually do is I twist these. So it's kind of mechanically held. I'll show you, I'll just solder that one. Now you heat the metal, not the solder. Don't heat the solder, otherwise it's going to evaporate. Now, see that? I might zoom in for it. Okay, I'll do the next one now. Do the green light. You see, if you were to forget, the heat shrink at this point, there's no way to get it back on. So you kind of need to remember. And mind you don't burn anything beside you or yourself. So again, same thing. Heat the metal, not the solder. Another one. Otherwise you end up with dry joints if you do it the other way. No, a solid red one and a red with a white stripe. Do these. Be a nice good connection there. Okay, that's that one. Now I'll straighten them out and I'll show the heat shrink over it, back over it. And just shrink the whole lot now. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. Just wrap the whole thing. Okay, so that job is done. So that's the loom complete. I'm going to replace this little gator as well, so I might recrimp that then at a later stage. So that's the whole loom, I think, is done. The only thing I do need to do is I'll show you. Okay, so that's the seat I got for the bike, and I got one of these hoops or loops or whatever you want to call it, with the integrated lights and indicators and all that kind of thing. So that's the connection that comes on that, and I'll show you. It will look really nice on the bike. See that? That's the kind of finish I'm going for at the back. So that'll be nice, but it doesn't have a nice connector. So what I did was I went through my drawers and I found a connector. So that's from a different motorbike. So so what I will do is I'll actually solder that onto it, and then the other side of the loom, which is your indicators, your lights on the back, it's this. So I'm going to do the connector on that side as well. So that way I'll have a connector that I'm able to disconnect the loom from the back. Now it's probably not that necessary on this bike because you will never be taking this off. But you might want to take the loom off for some reason. So yeah, I'll just put a connector on it. Same procedure as what I did there a few minutes ago. So that's another little job. And then before I connect up all the coils, I'm going to just check all the coils. So I'll show you how to check the coils. And yeah, that's kind of, we're getting there now. Okay, so before installing these two coils, this one and the one at the back, I actually just checked the primary and the secondary side for resistance. So what you're looking for on the primary side on these ones here is between 2 and 2.5 or thereabouts ohm. So I'll just show you the meter. This is a multimeter, and let me see if I can. You kind of need to have 10 hands for this. So put your meter onto ohms. Okay, well earlier it was showing less than that, but anyway, just 2.7. So that's kind of within. It's supposed to be 2.6 is the range, and there's no cracking. Visibly they look fine. They haven't swollen or anything else like that. You'll see the coil will fail usually when it's warm. So when the bike is warm and running, you'll have issues with coils. So that's on that side. So that's okay. And then on the secondary side, you're talking about 20 to 25 kilo ohms. Now there's a different reading if you have the HT leads in and if you don't have the HT leads in. Now this one here has an NGK HT, a plug made by NGK, and the other one has the original factory one, so they would have different resistance as well. So, but anyway, you're talking 20. What am I going to say? 30 to 36. So again, same procedure. Now this time it's kilo ohms, not ohms. So yeah, you see by not having a good connection. Yeah, it's the connection. You're probably better off without the leads. There, 32. Look, so that's within the range. So yeah, so that's spot on. That's on the money. So yeah, just check both coils. Again, you don't want to be starting this bike going up the road and then finding out that the coil is bunched. So okay. So grand. I put the light on the front. I don't like the bracket, so I'm gonna have to rethink the bracket. I'll show you now in a minute. And I put the switches in just temporarily for the moment, just to see the wiring. And yeah, let's try and clip it on. I have a few pictures of how it should look like. So let's see how I get on. Okay, so before I move the camera, I'll just show you. There's my headlamp. That's what it looked like. Like I said, I'm not happy with the bracket either side of it. So I'm gonna have to get rid of the stock bracket and get something else. And what I will try and do is I'll try and hide some of the wiring inside the lamp. So I won't be able to do all the electrics today because I don't have the bracket, so I'm going to have to be taking the lamp off again, so that's going to be a pain. Okay, so all I'm planning on doing is putting the loom on and putting everything in its right place. As you can see, I've just put the switches in like that. I might have to shorten these bars a bit. Again, I won't know until the tank comes in. So I just temporarily I'm going to fit the loom and And then I think next I'm going to try and tackle that rear subframe. I'm waiting on stuff to arrive at the moment, tubes. I'll show you the original subframe. I was planning on chopping it, which I'll still do, but I think I'm just gonna have to weld a whole new subframe. It's gonna be easier, quicker, and it'll look better. So, but I'm still gonna use some of the material off that subframe. Okay, so I wired up this backlight, and I'll just show you how bright it is. It's actually really nice. So there's the indicator. There's the light. Oh, there's the brake light. There's the normal running light. There's the other indicator. So I wonder if you're braking at the same time, what happens? Oh yeah. So the brake will actually flash. There's actually two LEDs here at the very end. So one is a red and one is an orange. So if you're braking and indicating at the same time, you know, one will flash. So let's just do that as a test. Oh yeah, that's the way it's gonna look. So yeah, pretty cool. Very bright. Very happy with it. I won't be installing this today now, but yeah, it's a nice little light. And also it's a neater tail then. Okay, and lastly, before I go to the Loom with the bike, my new clocks. So I just wanted to show you. So it actually there was nothing wrong with the last set of clocks. The issue was the clock takes a ignition and a constant live, and both of them have to be connected. The manual doesn't actually specify that. The manual is very bad anyway, but I'll just show you. They're actually pretty cool again. Yeah. And that's kilometers, and I think the switch changes it to miles. Yeah, there's miles per hour. You hold it down. There it is, kilometers. Okay, so that's the clock. For that, I'm gonna actually have to make a little mini loom for myself. I don't want to chop the original loom on the bike, so what I'll do is I'll use some of the bits that I have off the other looms, and I'll actually make a little connector that fits onto that, rather than chopping the original loom. Like, if someone someday wanted to go back to the original clocks, it's easier if you haven't chopped it all up. So yes, that's what I'm gonna go with. Okay, let's get on with this loom on the bike. Okay, so because I'm changing the whole back end on the bike, I'm going to have to find a home for a lot of stuff. I'm kind of upsetting at the amount of space I have, because I'm going to shrink that back side a good bit. I'm going to find a home for the CDI, the rectifier, the solenoid for the starter motor, the battery. What else is there? The flasher relay. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. So I have to find a home for all that. So what I decided I'm going to do is I'm going to have to wait until I start welding the back section. I've ordered all the base material for that, so that's fine. And I'm going to use this grommet as my point of reference. So this grommet, this point I'm going to use. Now I may have to change this bracket as well, because I'm changing the tank as well. So, but at least I know that that's the point of the loom where this bit here doesn't really change. I mean, I haven't changed much on the front. I've changed the lamp, but that's about it. There's not much else that's changed. So the length on all these cables should be perfect here on this side, and the back will have to be either shortened or a new home has to be found for. So I'm going to use this here as my reference point, and all I really want to do is I want to make the connections. I want to make sure that all the connectors I need are there, and just to be 100% sure that I have everything that I need. I don't want any surprises later when I'm doing the final assembly. So as you can see, connected the CDI, I've connected the rectifier, I've connected the batteries. I have, there's one connector there that I haven't found a home for yet. And also what I want to do is, once I do all my connections, I want to make sure that I want to make this loom for the front of the bike, this for the new clocks, because the new clocks will take some of the cables, so I want to kind of make a small little loom for that. So once I do all my connections, I'll know what I'm missing. I'll be missing whatever is the clock that's left, and then I'll know which cables to connect for the clocks, rather than going through the whole loom and now trying to find the cables. So yeah, so that's the plan. Okay, so look, let me see if I have all of them on the left here. Okay, so I've the loom prepped for install now. It's I can't really do much more than that for the moment, until I see what way the subframe works out. I'm gonna have to get probably a slimline battery, one of these lithium-ion batteries, because I won't have the same space as I did on the original subframe. So I also have to hide the pump, the CDI, the rectifier, the relays, the solenoid. So a load of stuff needs to be hidden away, and same with the front. There's some few bits and pieces I need to hide in there as well. So yeah, I think next I'm going to get the tank. I have to chop off bits and pieces. So chop off these tags here, that are for the mount for the fairing on the rever, and I'm going to sort out the tank maybe next. And when the stuff arrives during the week for the subframe, I'm going to start welding the subframe up. I decided that this original subframe is actually not going to do the job. What I will do though is I will keep these, just the mounts, the two mounts, and then that's it. I'm going to maybe some of these as well, and then the rest I'm just going to weld my own. So yeah, okay, so I'm happy enough with that. No big surprises, a few small things that needed to be done for the loom. The little loom I have to make up still for the new clocks, but that's about it. Okay, so keep going.